I was in first grade, I had my first crush on a girl in my class, but didn't know what it was. I told my mom, tears rushing down her face. I'm like, I don't want to marry a man and no one can make me, so don't wait for it. But I hid my thoughts, ashamed of them, ripped my head to shreds and begged for God to just take them from me, aching from it. But no one could tell. I was too afraid to speak up, speak out, and be real. But I don't want to be living a life of fear and injustice. Don't want to support behavior that just leads to more suffering.
Well, it's been with us since my earliest memory as a child, so that's 64 years ago. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think that it's certainly not a new phenomenon. It gets expressed in different ways now. Mm-hmm. Instead of it being physical, I guess it's now, you know, it's now digital, or it's online, it's on the internet. But bullying's as old as mankind, I think.
For it. But I hid my thoughts, ashamed of them, ripped my head to shreds and begged for God to just take them from me, aching from it. But no one could tell. I was too afraid to speak up, speak out, and be real. But I don't want to be living a life of fear and injustice. Don't want to support behavior that just leads to more suffering. Don't want to be sitting waiting for change. Packed up me different, listen to changes. No offense to Mayor, but I guess what I'm trying to say here is, nah, here we go. America the brave still fears what we don't know. You may be told segregation of the races is over, but here we go. America the brave still fears what we don't know.
Free of bullying, free of threats, free where they can grow and thrive to be responsible citizens of the future. So I would like to thank everybody for participating today.
Thank you so much for being a stand to create more peace in our community and to say no to violence.
No offense to Mayor, but I guess what I'm trying to say here is, nah, here we go. America the brave still fears what we don't know. You may be told segregation of the races is over, but how can it be when these old traditions just keep holding us? I don't know, but
Unshamed.org is something that I created about 10 months ago with other people who are what we call victim advocates or rape crisis advocates. And what we recognized was that shame is such an incredibly powerful and silencing factor for far too many people who have experienced childhood sexual abuse or as a young adult or an adult have experienced some form of sexual violence. And what I believe is that there are many, many things people are going to feel after a sexual assault, but one of them shouldn't be shame. Well, we are really excited. We have over a dozen individuals and companies and groups that are offering all sorts of whatever that they love, and they're sharing their passion with the entire community at our very first Dare to Imagine event. And we couldn't be more thrilled. Everything from yoga to puppetry to have you tell your story. Had all sorts of games and playing, and I think it really appeals to people of all ages, from very, very young to people that are grandparent age.
And we're here with Self-Narrate, and essentially we're a storytelling platform. We allow people and organizations to have comfortable places where they actually share their story and learn more about themselves in the process. Basically, we want you to grow your story and grow yourself, and essentially that continues and builds up to help create resilient communities as well. We're out here today encouraging people to grab a pen, a piece of paper, and actually just share a story, any story that they have that they would love to share. We found that being able to create healthy spaces where people can own their stories and feel like they're always holding the pen has been very beneficial. We've been doing this for about 3 years now, and so we're just happy and pleased to be here, and it's been a great experience thus far.
So we work together with a team on campus in Victim Services and Strive and the Dean of Students Office in Arts and Medicine, as well as with Student Health, to develop a program that we felt could identify issues and solutions and deliver that to students. So the idea that I came up with that I felt would be the strongest way to do this was through a play. Sure, Ashley's Consent was born out of a desire that came from the Dean of Students office to have more sexual assault education on campus, and specifically to use theater as the main device for that program. And we could create a play based on information that we researched with students and playwright, and create an original play for UF that we would deliver to students. We collected a little bit of data, survey data, around the response from students who saw the play. We had just around 200 people come and see the play and respond to the survey as far as what they took from the play, and it was a very positive response. For the most part, the majority of students, so around 80%, in the 80 percentile, really learned a lot about subjects of victim blaming, affirmative consent, bystander intervention, and and victim reporting, and the resources available across campus. So the play dealt with all of those subjects, and the students, there was a positive increase from all of them as far as what they knew going into the play and what they took from the play and left with a greater understanding of.
It's just puppy love, or it's just high school, you'll get over it. Well, that kind of attitude means that people in trouble in high school who are experiencing abuse in their relationships or who experience sexual assault, often their stories are not listened to, they're not taken seriously. There's this idea that we all have when we're young, that there's a happily ever after for us, that there's a Prince Charming or Princess Charming out there who's going to make us better, who's going to solve all of our problems. And this is a story that's sold to our kids again and again and again, especially through a certain company with a mouse as its logo, right?
The sense of self-blame and shaming is far too pervasive, not only in our culture, but even imposed by individuals themselves as a way of sort of trying to explain why this thing happened to them. And I think it's unfair, and I think it has the prolonged and powerful impact of preventing people from believing they deserve support and will receive support if they ask for it. So events like this are really about bringing communities together and taking away any of that stigma and shame about even talking about sexual assault. It doesn't need to be anyone's secret or dirty little secret, and instead it needs to be something that people, whether it's learning how to tell your story or learning to write poetry or learning different ways to live with and through and beyond sexual assault, that we live in a community where there are lots and lots of powerful resources for people to figure out what is the most effective way to live through something that has been so difficult, powerful, and unbearable.
And the goal is really to show kind of the pain in beauty as well as the joy and the happiness.
It's kind of like a journal through paintings, I guess. And, you don't have to use words, you can just kind of leave it up to interpretation, if you will. Just like to express whatever's on my mind.
I think that life is made of a million moments, and some of them are incredibly beautiful, and some of them you're not sure if you're ever going to get through them. And I want to be part of a community and part of events like this that teach and reach out to people and say, we'll surround you with support. It's waiting for you.
I can't change it.